Welcome to the Do Life Well podcast. Join your host, Gavin Merwin, and his guests as they explore the nature of doing life well. Now, let's dive in.
Welcome back to another episode of the Do Life Well podcast. I'm your host, Gavin Merwin, and today I'm joined with my good friend, Hunter Hudgins. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Honored and happy to be a part.
Yeah. No, we are excited about today's topic, continuing the topics of doing life well.
Yeah.
Today's episode is going to be called Fasting, Training the Body and Tuning the Spirit.
Probably immediately scared half the people.
Everybody just did.
Yeah.
Don't want to talk about this for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of what prompted it, for me, I personally have not fasted a ton. Very important I recognize its importance.
Sure.
But within the last little bit, I did a 24-hour liquid-only fast that
Yep.
we've talked about. And it was just a really great experience. And so, obviously, or honestly, the point of the show is just like, hey, sharing experiences. How do we do life well?
Sure.
Biblically, there's a command, if you will, to fast and
Yep.
things like that.
Yep.
And so, I thought it'd be a fun topic. And I know that's something that, one of the questions I had is, when did you start fasting? I know that it's always been a thing, but as long as I've known you, that's kind of been an element of something. So anyway, thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
we can dive in.
Cool.
So when did you start fasting?
I started, so...
Or take a minute and introduce yourself. I guess we can start there.
Oh, sure. I don't know, simple man. Fasting actually goes along with just a follower of Jesus in the sense of, if I heard a wise man once, he told me, he had to write down a description, he said, I'm a simple man who loves Jesus. And so that's always stuck with me of all, if I could just say that in the sense of, sure, do I have other things? We work together, we go to church together, friend, son, all the things, but no, just person who realizes God loves me and I love God, and so in a lot of ways try to let that impact all the different spheres of my life. So
for sure.
But fasting. So
I'll tell you a funny story really quick.
Sure.
Talking about your background. So I had Jess convinced the other day you were Australian.
So I am part of Australia.
I know.
Yeah.
But I was like,
I'm full blown.
Yeah, I was like, he wasn't born here. Like he has Australian citizenship. He's
Yep.
just here,
Yep.
She was convinced. I was like, no, I think it's his dad. Right? Like your dad was Australian.
Yeah.
Now was he actually Australian, moved here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was born in Australia. He moved to Georgia when he was probably, I'm always going to mix it up, 2 or 3, 4 maybe.
Okay.
So my great-grandfather on his dad's side was born in Georgia.
Okay.
He married his wife during World War II.
Okay.
That was from Australia, but his entire mom's side is from over there. So
Wow.
moved here to the States, and then probably about 12 moved back to Australia and lived there for a year or two. So pretty much all of his side of the family, outside of a few cousins in Texas, all live in Australia.
Wow.
So one thing he's always preached was get your dual citizenship.
Yeah.
So I need to just do it. And
Did he? He was both?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, technically no. He was he had his green card.
Okay.
So he can live here legally. Yes.
Citizen.
100%.
It's all right. So I wasn't far off.
No, not at all.
That's funny. She's like, he's not Australian.
Kind of am.
Yeah.
So my brother, he always tells I'm a first time
first generation
American. Yeah. So, which is true.
That's fascinating.
But so fasting. I got saved. Right. I started following Jesus when I was 16.
Okay.
It was, I remember it was yesterday, August of 2013.
Okay.
When I got saved. January of 2014 was the first time I did my first fast.
Okay.
And so I had no idea what I was doing, had no reference at any point, what fasting was.
Yeah.
It was just like little things I heard. And I remember hearing somebody talk about it at church, and they said, hey, I always just start the year with fasting.
Sure.
And so I was like, sure, why not? If that's something Christians do, I'll give it a go.
Sure.
And so I did what a lot of people call the Daniel fast, right? No meats, no sweets, fruits and vegetables. Did it for 21 days. It was very difficult, but it was super rewarding in the sense of my goal at the time, and most of the time when I fast, is almost to draw near to God, to kind of almost abstain from the distractions, if you will.
Sure.
And I felt in that 21-day period at 16 that I gained a lot of revelation knowledge, or felt I was kind of, my vision was a lot more clear on the scope of what does it mean? What does it look like? And almost like, again, the goal of turning away from these distractions onto like focusing on the main thing. So.
Yeah, 100%. I don't really know, to be honest, the first time I fasted, I can't really necessarily remember. And there's been, variations, and I know there's the biblical definition and the cultural definition. Like, I get all that, but like, there's also the element of like hearing God for yourself and what's He asking you to do and all of those things. But like, I think like we were talking about before we started recording, it was just the one I did recently was almost like I'm in control, like I'm the boss, and it's like that was a very rewarding experience to just like remind myself of like I've had an episode with our friend Chris, like we have to do hard things, we must suffer, like it's just a good healthy way to refine your mind. I'm in control. Remind yourself, you don't control me, I control you, kind of situation. And like even like obviously with exercise and stuff like that, it's very similar. Like, it's been super hot lately, and I'm like Sunday afternoon after church, I'm gonna run 4 miles. And like, you've lost your mind. It's like 8 million degrees. You're gonna die. I'm like, it's just a great reminder. Like,
100%.
My mind's gonna fail me before my body will.
Yes.
So it's really healthy for my mind to like force myself to do those things. And there's an element of fasting that I experienced that was good in that way too. Yeah,
no, absolutely. No, and like to your point, we talked about this a moment ago, but reminding your body, if you will, hey, you're in control, right?
Yeah.
There's I think it's Philippians 3, Paul's writing, and he pretty much talking about unbelievers.
Yeah.
And he says a few different things. One thing he mentions though was, and their belly was their God. And if you're not careful, no different than any other element of your life, whether it be
social media,
or family, friendships, whatever the case may be, this can control and dictate your life.
Yeah.
And so to your point, it's almost like, in a lot of ways, hey, it's just getting in control of those things that, if you're not careful, can control you.
Yeah.
And so in a lot of ways, fasting is that, where it's almost like submitting yourself to, in a spiritual context, okay, hey, I'm solely depending on God in this element, but also reminding your body, like, hey, my body's subjected to me. I'm not subjected to my body.
100%.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a funny story. I think I may have told you this. Emma Claire, who's 5, I'm like explaining to her, like, we're going to run fast. I don't understand. What's a fast,
Yep.
And I'm like, yeah, no, me and Mama, or I don't know if I said me or Mom. But anyway, I was like, like, I'm not eating. We're not eating for 24 hours.
Yeah.
And she's like, I can't eat. Like, no, you can. We're choosing not to. Why are you doing that? And it's like, the whole like explain it to me like I'm 5.
Yes.
And you have to explain it to a 5-year-old. Like, it forces you to like really break down. Like, all right, how do I explain this?
100%. And I think that's why it's important to know what fasting is and what fasting isn't.
Yeah.
And there is an element of a gray area.
Sure.
Because we talk about it up here in a number of different ways about the ditches of life.
Yeah.
Like the extremes that you can go on. It's like ditch number 1. I mean, we joked like everybody jumped off, but it's like ditch number 1 is like avoidance totally. Like, I'm staying away from fasting. I'm not interested. Yeah. Like, that's for those people over there.
Sure.
And then there's the other extreme where people just kind of get a little hardcore, and it's almost, it creates this like, I'm better than you because I can do this. Sure. And it's like there's such this like fine line, or the tension of, why are you doing it and what are you doing it for? And so it's like, I think in a lot of ways, I mean, I could tell you the black and white definition of fasting, which is at its root just abstaining from food.
Yeah.
But there's other pieces involved where it's like, I think in a lot of ways, where's your heart posture in it?
Yeah.
Because again, what we could talk about, is it a command, is it not?
Sure.
And Jesus tells us when we fast, not if, but when.
Yeah, that's right.
When we fast,
that's right.
What it should look like and what it shouldn't be, right? And so I think if your motives are pure and you have the right intent, it's like, whether it's 24 hours or 40 days, right?
Yeah.
When it's in that place. And again, hey, everybody's on a journey.
Sure.
And so fasting is a part of that journey where it's like, sometimes it takes time to understand, like Emma Claire versus other folks that we know that have been doing it for most of their life, or at least 20 plus years.
That's right. Yeah, and like unpack that a little bit. So like practically, what is it?
Oh, sure.
What are some definitions? Doesn't necessarily mean that's what you have to do.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so at its core, fasting is just abstaining from food, right? Yeah. And like if you sand it down, remove all like religious or spiritual context, I mean, that's what it is, abstaining from food.
Sure.
And so sometimes, especially in the modern age we live in, we can kind of overlap that with other things, like abstaining from social media. Like, you can start picking hairs, right? Some people are like, hey, that's not a fast. And then there's some people like, well, hey, it's unto the same thing as abstaining from food.
Sure.
I think if you are abstaining from food in a traditional fast, it's beneficial to abstain from social media. Because again, like, the goal is to alleviate yourself from distractions or pleasures of the world, if you will.
Yeah.
The suffering aspect of it.
Sure.
Where you're kind of giving yourself over to this moment of time. And then there's some people, like we heard recently, and I don't necessarily disagree with it. It's like I said, I did a Daniel fast.
Yeah.
Well, in a traditional sense, that's more of a diet. That's not
Sure.
really a fast.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But
Sure.
do I think God's beating people over the head of,
Sure.
oh, you're eating fruits and vegetables, you're calling it a fast, you're
Yeah.
totally wrong?
Sure.
No. But at a base level, fasting is abstaining from food. And
Sure.
then, there's different pieces where it's like intermittent fasting. You're doing it for a time and season. And then there's also fasting in the sense of an extended period, whether it's, hey, 1 day fast, 24 hour. There's liquid fast. Hey, you're abstaining from like physical food, but you're smoothies, water, coffee.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, that's how I would define fasting. Is just at its core abstaining from food, which there are spiritual contexts that we can jump into when it comes to surrounding fasting, but just as a plain definition, it's just abstaining from food.
Yeah, do that. Like, jump into those contexts.
Yeah, so from a spiritual perspective, or those that would claim to be followers of the faith, the followers of Jesus.
Sure.
I'll tell you one thing, I'm going to take a step back, where it's like, what's interesting is fasting is like, historically speaking, pretty much every people group, every generation, every religious context, they all fasted. So there's like, if you take a step back from a scope, it's like there's something to it, right?
Sure.
Whether Eastern philosophies, I mean, Hindus, Muslims, I mean, they fast. Those that are practices of Judaism, like historical Jews, I mean, they fasted. And so it's not necessarily like this new thing. I mean, it's a part of the people anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And then just another, aspect of fasting, why it's important, and I'm sure we'll get into it further, but it's like, whether you know it or not, everybody fasts, right? When you sleep at night, you're fasting, you're abstaining from food. That's why they call it breakfast, right? You're breaking the fast. And so from a spiritual context, if you're fasting and you're just abstaining from food and you're not careful, you're just starving yourself, right? And so when you're fasting in a Christian context, right, it's important to tie in studying the scriptures and praying with it. Because again, if you're not careful, it can get in that legalistic line. You're kind of doing it just to suffer. And don't get me wrong, I think there's pleasures and things you can learn from those moments, but if you're not careful, like, you start teetering this line. But when it comes to biblical fasting and spiritual fasting, to my understanding, it's, hey, you're partnering not only with abstaining from food and other things like social media, things of that nature, but you're spending time in the Word. You're reading things, whether that's one scripture or a book of the Bible, right? But you're turning your mind to those things instead of thinking about taking in food. I mean, you're taking in what people would say is the bread of life, the Bible, the Word, as well as, hey, you're praying, you're meditating, you're replacing those moments of engaging in food and things of that nature, and you're engaging in prayer with the Lord. And so those are like immediate thoughts from a spiritual context when it comes to, like, for Christians that would fast, like, hey, those are two big things to know and to consider.
Yeah, it's like emptying yourself and filling yourself back up.
100%.
Like, body becomes weak, spirit becomes strong.
Yes.
It's like one without the others.
Yes.
You're missing a part of the equation.
Absolutely.
If you will.
No, absolutely. No, and I heard somebody say sometime in my life, in the sense of fasting is a way to worship with your entire body. Like, oftentimes we think of worship as singing, a song unto the Lord in a church service. But the gentleman was saying, like, hey, you're really just like, you're laying your body, because ultimately all worship is some form of a sacrifice. And so when you fast, you're ultimately sacrificing your physical strength to give yourself unto the Lord. And to your point, to be filled back up with His Spirit, His knowledge, His revelation, His Word.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, like we talked about, like, again, like I don't do it a lot. I really enjoyed it, so I think I'm gonna do it more.
Yeah.
But it's that supernatural grace just kind of happens.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, at least I experienced it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, one, it's hard, and so when you do hard things, harder things become easier to do.
Sure.
Right. But then two, because it's hard, it's almost like a reward for that. Where
Sure.
It's just like, I mean, I just felt so fulfilled. Like when I finished, I was like, man, I was like, this really hard thing that, and again, everybody's on a journey, like 24 hours. Some people are like, come on, man, like that's, baby steps. But, I had done a lot of it. And so it was like, this was difficult. And then when you finish it, it's like, again, going to like the more natural suffering side of things. Like I've done races and competitions and things like that. And you finish and you're like, man, I just feel so accomplished that I stuck to it and didn't give in to the craving and the temptation. Like I am in control,
100%. No, that's like, I actually liken it to a race a ton.
Yeah.
In the sense of like, how long should you fast and things of that nature? Because there's a lot of practical pieces too, where it's like, I couldn't do a 40-day fast now.
Sure.
Right? Like I couldn't tomorrow start a 40-day fast at all. Because my body and probably even my mind's not there yet. But no different than a race. Like I couldn't go out and run a 5K right now. I mean, maybe I could, but I'd feel it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I would liken it to a race where it's just like, if you're not used to walking every day, or you're not used to doing a 24-hour fast, like you're probably not going to be able to do a 3, a 10, a 21, a 40-day fast.
Yeah. Yeah, there's probably wisdom to like building up to things too. I mean,
Absolutely.
because it's no different than like in my fitness journey, like I was telling you before we started, I'm about to start a 12-week cut cycle, which is normal. We do it once a year, twice a year, something like that. And someone had mentioned to me, I think it's called a 75 hard or something like that, but it's like this really strict 75-day regimen. You exercise twice, you don't do this, this is really, really strict. And it's like, and if you get 50 days in, you break it, you start back over, you go over. And I'm like, hey, it's great. I'm sure that works for tons of people.
Sure.
It's awesome. Me and my cadence of life, it's just not sustainable.
Sure.
And so I think it's important too to like set out on things where goals are actually possible. Like I'm not saying it should be easy, but at the same time too, like, hey, I don't fast a lot. How realistic is it to be like, I'm gonna go do a 40-day fast, liquid only? Don't know that's wise. I don't know, maybe it is. But to your point of like, I think it's a practice.
Sure.
No different than, you practice religion. I mean, like
100%.
doctors practice medicine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's similar thing in that it's like it's a journey. You're learning. It's net sum zero. It's positive.
Yes.
We're supposed to do it.
Yes.
I mean, the word says we are, whether we want to accept it or not. Be on that journey, but it doesn't mean from a comparative perspective, which I never thought about it, but perhaps that's why it encourages us to do it in silence. I mean, it's very open. Also, the Bible is about not doing it just for the sake of broadcasting it. I'm not saying it has to be a secret either. There's practical aspects of that. If I'm doing that, I need my wife to help support me. I don't think there's anything wrong with me communicating. You know what I mean? Right. But it's the heart behind it.
100%.
Versus the other. So
no, you saying that like leads to a number of different thoughts. Like one, I'll start at the end in the sense of when Jesus is talking about fasting, Matthew 6. I mean, he's pretty clear in the sense of like if you're bragging about it and you're almost like that's going to be your reward. Yeah. Like your reward of fasting will be what everybody else thinks about you. It will not be the things that you're probably trying to see or understand or and so it's fascinating. But no, I mean even like walk back what you said just a little bit in the sense of the supernatural grace. I think if you're going to do an extended fast, there has to be supernatural grace. Yeah. Because regardless if you have done it your entire life or you're considering fasting for the first time, like it's going to be difficult. Sure. And your body's going to lie to you and it's going to tell you, oh my God, you're dying. Like you need to
You're killing me.
Yeah, 100%.
Survival mode.
No, 100%. And so it's like, there's a lot of practicals involved, like working yourself up to it. And hey, again, like if you feel like you're supposed to, I mean, that's a whole other thing. But there's practical steps definitely to get you there before you just kind of jump into it. Sure. I mean, can you imagine, but like, again, practically, like, all right, imagine, all right, I'm going to do Gavin's exact workout at CrossFit. Sure. Never done CrossFit in my life.
Yeah, sure.
That probably wouldn't go well for me.
Sure.
Like, probably like halfway through, I'm probably throwing in the towel.
Yeah, sure.
But if I'm going to start going with you.
Sure.
I'm going to take baby steps. Maybe in a year, maybe I could, you know what I mean?
Sure.
But tomorrow, probably not going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, and like you say, hey, if the Lord's asking you to do something, that reigns supreme.
100%.
But outside of that, use wisdom.
No, 100%.
To build yourself up. Which, that was kind of a segment I had too of like practical how-tos and encouragement. And I think that's a great, that's just what we're talking about, So I think like summarizing up to this point is it's like, regardless of what you believe, like you mentioned, across all people groups, across all religions. I mean, you go listen to Andrew Huberman or get into the health world.
Yep.
Tons of things around fasting. So it's going to be hard to refute if you want to do life well. You can't fast for whatever reason you're doing it. There's lots of avenues of it's positive.
Yeah,
let's just say that.
And let me ask you a question: when you're sick, do you have an appetite? Do you want to eat?
Not normally.
No. And then like even animals, when animals get sick, 9 times out of 10, they're abstaining from food.
Sure.
So I think it's even like innately, it's almost like
biological.
To course correct.
Yeah.
I'm going to abstain from food.
Sure.
And so it's like, okay, without even subjectively thinking about it, when you're sick, it's like, I'm not going to eat. No, it's like most of the time it's like, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
So like, what is it about your body almost saying like, I need to course correct and stay away from this and almost kind of
reset myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. No, I love that. And I think even to the point of that is like not only like sickness, but I mean, I think, straying from practical for a second, but even like reasons why, behind the why of the fast. So because I'm instructed to, because it's healthy, there's elements of health involved. I have a situation I'm dealing with in life, that I'm wanting to like really focus in on. Like, there's an element of my life I'm not happy with. I want to really fast to it, or so talk about that. I mean, because I've had some thoughts or experience, but even
no, for sure. So for like me personally, especially on like the journey of following the Lord, like I don't know if I would have the same approach fasting if I wasn't a believer, right? You know what I mean? But now that I do, and it's almost like you do see the other side of it too. But no, for me personally, it's almost been one of those things where it's like anytime there's a decision to be made, especially larger decisions in my life, it's like I tend to say, okay, I'm going to fast and I'm going to pray. Because again, it goes back to, I'm kind of emptying myself. I'm not relying on what I would believe to be my own understanding, my own thought processes, or an easy escape to kind of bypass the situation, if you will.
Sure.
And so it's almost like, okay, I'm going to empty my thoughts.
Eliminate the noise,
exactly. And say, okay, I'm going to deliberately set myself apart. And in a lot of ways, hey, going back to the sickness, you're purifying your body.
Sure.
That's a lot of what holiness is when you sand it down when it comes to, like, again, followers of the faith, where it's like, it's purification of your heart, your mind, so on and so forth. In a lot of ways, you're purifying your body, and in turn, purifying your mind and your heart. And so when it comes to big decisions, oftentimes it's like, I will go that route. It's like, you don't have to fast for big decisions either, but it kind of helps wipe away the cloudiness in my brain of like, okay, I need to make a decision. I want to make the right decision.
Yeah.
I'm going to fast. I'm going to read. I'm going to pray. And hey, sometimes it's a light bulb that goes off, and sometimes it's like it's not. But then to your point, it's like after the fact, you almost feel more reset and clear-headed of like, okay, I didn't get an answer during this 10-day period.
Yeah.
But now I feel more sharp where I can make the right decision after the fact.
Sure. Yeah, clear the noise.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, that's probably one of the largest things from my experience that fasting has done. It's almost like wipes the slate clean, and it's almost like you can, okay, hey, I can start seeing things a lot more clear-sighted.
Yeah, which is interesting. I'm sitting here thinking like, I don't know it. There has to be a biological.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Your body's not busy processing food, so it can divert its energy to thinking or whatever. You know what I mean? Like there has to be some element of that. And it's kind of like it's hard to explain.
Yeah.
Just go try it.
Yeah.
Was my experience. It's
100%.
And like again, I did it recently and it was just pretty random, to be honest. I mean, it was just like I just had the thought one Saturday. I was like had 3 or 4 things I was thinking about and I was like, man, I need to do a 24-hour fast, And you're like, cool.
Yeah.
I'll do it on Monday. And you're like, well, I have dinner plans on Monday. I'll do it on Tuesday. Maybe Wednesday, And like, part of that's like, don't be a wuss about it.
Sure.
Just skip the dinner plans. And there's an element of that. But I think it is also like, at least for me, it was like, give yourself the best chance of succeeding also.
100%.
You know, so if you're we travel a bunch for work. If
Yep.
you're on the road, that's going to be more challenging. Like pick your day where you've got a relatively slow day. You know, you don't have some huge important meeting where you need to be really sharp and focused, because it does drain you, dull you, headache. You know what I mean? Like, so, I mean, I think there's wisdom in aligning it to where it fits. You know, again, short of, like we talked about,
you feeling like,
exactly, being told very specifics. That if you don't, then like fit it into that. And I think, you know, getting into practical, I mean, I think that's obviously a lot of it.
Oh, sure.
I mean, I think probably the vast majority of people don't.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I'm guilty of that.
Sure.
You do, I think, a decent amount. So, like, practically speaking, like, go down that path. How do you start?
Yeah, so I think it is baby steps, right? In the sense of, like, I would say first and foremost, hey, if you consider yourself a believer, right? What does the Bible say?
Yeah.
Right? That would be my starting point.
Sure.
So one, what does the word say? Hey, we've hinted at it. I mean, Matthew 6, Jesus says not when you fast, if you fast. So it's almost like this indication, there's this assumption from both the writer Matthew as well as Jesus.
Yeah.
And also, like, again, if you're a follower of the faith, if Jesus of all people fasted, shouldn't we? You know what I mean? Like, there's probably some context to it.
Sure.
And so, like, one, I would get a clear, like, okay, should we fast?
Yeah.
The Bible's pretty clear that we should.
Sure.
Then two, I would say, like, okay, knowing your rhythm of life. I mean, I think that's a great point where it's like, what does your day or week look like? And you can easily go down the path and start making up excuses.
Sure.
We all do it.
Sure.
Okay, at what point can I afford to inconvenience myself? Because, I mean, you are doing that. I mean, you are inconveniencing yourself. And so it's like being aware of that and then beginning to think, okay, all right, if it's a Monday, I'm going to set myself up right, where it's like, throughout the day, can I find time to pray and time to read? Because again, if not, you're just kind of starving yourself, and then you're going to be miserable, and you're going to complain, you know what I mean? And you're really going to look forward to bypassing the moment, which is kind of defeats the purpose.
Sure.
So I think it's like being mindful of, hey, your life, your rhythm of life.
Yeah.
If you have kids, what does that look like? Because you might be cooking meals, and you might have to, you know what I mean? Like being aware of that. And then thinking it through, where it's like, if anybody thinks like, man, well, okay, Jesus fasted 40 days, I'm going after it.
Sure.
That's amazing, but you probably got to take some baby steps.
Sure.
So even to your point where it's like a day or like intermittent fasting, I think that's a beautiful place to start, where it's almost like, hey, from sun up to sundown, I'm not eating.
Sure.
Right? And if you do it during the winter, you gain the benefit where like,
you have a
shorter day. Yes.
That's funny.
But
a little cheat code.
Yeah. But no, it's just like a day.
Yeah.
Or 3 days. And even if it's like one meal a day, whatever the case may be, and then almost kind of work your way up it. I'll tell you a good practice, and this is maybe more difficult than some, where it's like if fasting was to be a part of your lifestyle or your rhythm of life, fasting once a week.
Yeah.
Like there was a period and season in my life where I did that, where it's like every Tuesday, once a week, I would fast all day, just water.
Yeah.
And the other 6 days a week, I mean, I didn't. It's sort of like needing or feeling to, or wanting to do an extended fast, 3 days, 7 days, 10 days, whatever the case may be. But I think it's like intermittent fasting, a day a week, whatever the case may be. And then one of the questions that you had mentioned, like, hey, what would be foods to eat before a fast?
Sure.
There's also foods to not eat before the fast.
Sure.
Right? Milkshake, I wouldn't eat fast food probably the night before the fast, right? Because your body's probably gonna not like it the next day, right? But also thinking through eating something enough to kind of, okay, how can this hold me over?
Yeah.
And then, hey, even when it comes to like being in the fast, like what are practicals? Like 2 things I would say to be mindful of. One, it goes back to the forest for the trees thing that we talk about.
Sure. In
the sense of seeing the bigger picture. For me, when I'm fasting, it's almost like I have to keep it one day at a time. I can't think through, like if I feel like I'm going to do a 10-day fast, I can't think about
day 10.
Yeah. Like I'm on day 2 and I'm about to give up. So it's like, I just need to finish the day.
Yeah.
And most of the time I recognize about myself, and I think everybody's body and clocks are very different. It's like, there's different times of the day that are harder than others.
Yeah.
It's like mornings, I'm great. Like I can get through lunch, but about somewhere between 2 and 7 o'clock, that's where I'm going to struggle.
Sure.
But if I can tell myself, okay, between 2 and 7, I'm going to be very mindful of praying, reading, things of that nature. And then by 7:30, 8 o'clock, truthfully,
it's kind of past.
Yeah, my night's kind of over. I'm not as hungry. I got 2-3 hours before I go to bed. I'm good. So it's like taking it day by day, whether it is one day or whether it is an extended fast.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a big thing too of, and then knowing, hey, it's hard. It's hard for everybody.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's a person on the planet that fasting's not hard.
Sure.
And if there is, they need to be on the podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
But I think it's no different than like...
That's kind of the point, though.
100%.
Like doing hard things.
100%. Yeah, it's hard for everybody.
Yeah.
And so, like, there are no superheroes. Everybody's going to feel the hunger pains and have to endure it.
Sure. Yeah, which I think is a good point. Like, you know, I think I've heard Mike make that comment before around that. Like, yeah, I mean, everybody thinks it's easy just because we do it.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean,
no,
there's no magic
right.
sauce, you know? Like,
no.
I mean, I have to suffer through it no different than everybody else does.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
And even on that point, like, I know you brought his book. I mean, is there anything like specific reference in the book you thought to share, or?
No, I mean, it was just more or less like when you asked me to jump on, my immediate thought was, okay, where is my brain at when it comes to fasting? Sure. And then I thought of, okay, obviously those that are followers of Jesus reference the Bible. But then I thought of like, what would be a helpful, like, okay, I'm pondering this thought, or I've entertained this thought of like fasting.
Sure.
And to your point, there's tons of people on the internet, tons of information out there. Most of it's good, but it's like, who would I say that I trust that could like provide some insights and guidelines? And obviously I could go through it, but it's like this book by Michael Dow, Fasting, like this is a great tool and reference where it's like, and he has 2 of the books. So it's like, he has tons of insight and knowledge because he's lived it. It's not like he's just making it up because he read it on Google, right? Yeah. He's lived a life of fasting, so he's able to pull from that experience and that knowledge. And he emphasizes the point of like, if you're fasting, you're giving yourself to Jesus in a greater way. So yeah, I would say like anybody that's interested in it, giving it a try, or just, hey, I just want to know a little bit more. I mean, Fasting 2, Michael Dow. You get it on Amazon. It's a great reference, great book to read.
We have an affiliate code, 10% off.
10% off, yeah.
Not really.
Yeah, come on, Mike.
That's funny. From a testimonial perspective, does a time stand out to you where you fasted and like God moved in a clear way, or any lessons you learned from like failure, even breakthrough moments? Like if you had one that you started, it was like, yeah, I just completely quit and here's my experience.
Yeah, I've quit a lot of them.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll start with the bad, then I'll talk through the good.
Sure.
But yeah, I've probably, and I would hope this is normal. I've probably quit more fast than I've actually completed.
Yeah.
Like in the sense of made up my mind I'm doing 7 days. By day 4, they're in the towel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Or I mean, there's been some where it's like I set out for a longer time frame.
Yeah.
You get like, I remember I set out to do, I was going to do a 30-day fast. I got to day 10.
Wow.
And threw in the towel.
Yeah.
And in like, you beat yourself up
Sure.
because you're thinking, man, I set out for 30 days, all these things. But it's like, you gave yourself in this way for 10 days.
Sure.
Hey, all good. Hit the reset.
Yeah.
Try again. It's almost like knock the dust off. It's all good. Move down the road. So
now, that kind of quantity, are you just water?
That particular one, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, that particular one, yes. Most of the time, like when I fast, I try to do water or liquid. Because I think it's a mental thing. For me, it's easier for me to give everything up rather than pieces of it up. If that makes sense. And it may not make sense to some, and
sure.
I get it. But yeah, I mean, it's more like, if I have to start picking and choosing, I can find the gray area of like, well, I mean, technically McDonald's French fries are potatoes.
Yeah,
that's a vegetable.
Sure.
But if I like, hey, water and coffee, like that's where I'm at. And so
that's amazing. I mean, I'm like, wow, like your body will literally sustain itself that long.
Oh yeah. And it's, I mean, like you said, like let's walk it back. It's very hard.
Yeah.
And some days, like I have found where it's like day 1, not super difficult. It's hard, but it's not super difficult.
Sure.
Day 2 to 4, for me personally, that's always the hardest range. If I can get past day 4, I can usually get to 7, 8. And then there's times and pieces where it's like, you get to day 12 or whatever it is, like arbitrary example, that's going to be a hard day.
Sure.
And so again, I think it's the end goal in mind and day by day. And to your point, where we started, it's almost like this reminder of like, I'm telling my body, no, I'm in control.
Sure.
So, but yeah, now I've quit a number of fasts.
Okay.
So when there's grace in it,
sure,
and you push through, I mean, it feels great. But there's always difficulty, and like I promise you, I think about food more than I think about when I'm fasting. I think about food more than when I'm not fasting.
Yeah.
Because it's just the enticing whatever. But like I guess successful fasts are things that like felt very beneficial after the fact. I think the first one I did when I was 21, when I did 21-day fast, always sticks out to me.
Yeah.
I did another one before I graduated high school. It was a 3-day water only fast, and I had this I didn't know what I was doing, didn't know where I was going. Like I wasn't interested in college. Like I just want to have a definitive answer of what needs to occur, and it's like I look back on it now. At the time, I didn't see the full picture, but it's like if I didn't get that answer and I didn't take that step, I wouldn't be having this conversation now. So it's like you look back 10, 12 years and you're almost like, okay, hey, this has done a ton just by kind of feeling like you get the clear answer there.
Yeah, sure.
And so there's been other things where it's like from a outside looking in, were they massive wins or massive things or massive revelation or somebody gave me $1,000 check or whatever the case may be?
Sure.
No, but there's been things like mentally, emotionally, all the things in life that life really is, been able to work through and work out of. So
yeah, and I think there's oftentimes little faith tokens too.
Yes.
Like the one I mentioned I just did, it's like what from a work perspective.
100%.
It's like I'm driving, I'm like, hey, I really need to see this person. I need to try to get a meeting with this person. I turn the corner and there he is standing on the porch at the building we were visiting, and it's like never in a million years did that happen. You're like, all right, I hear you. Like, this is healthy. Thank you for that little token of, it's good that I'm doing this thing, Not that it's a twist God's arm in a perverted way of I'm going to go do this to get these rewards. That's not it at all, but it is nice to
oh, absolutely.
I heard you adequately, I've responded, I'm obeying, and you're giving me a little token of hey, this is a very healthy thing that you're participating in.
Yeah. I'm interested because Jess did it with you too.
Yeah.
What was kind of her experience? Because obviously, and this goes back to practicals, rhythms of life. She's at home with the girls all day. Did she say, no, I was pretty good all day, or hey, she thought about it a ton?
Yeah, I think it's I think in both of our cases there was definitely a grace for it, and so it's almost just white knuckle
push through.
You know. I think there were elements that were a lot harder though, because like you said, she was at home, she was having to fix meals for the kids. I was able to go to work and kind of just put my head in the sand and just grind it out, and then I get home, you talk about the window. And by the time I get home, all I got to do is really skip one meal. I just missed lunch because I was working. You know what I mean? And I think we did a charcuterie board type meal for the girls. That way, it wasn't this long, drawn out cooking experience. All the smells. It's just hey, here's meat, fruit, cheese, some crackers.
Oh yeah.
We're done. Dinner's over. But I definitely think that was an element where it was probably harder for her.
Oh, sure.
In that way.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think of my mom. So my mom's fasted most of my life.
Yeah.
And so I just think of even as you're talking about Jess, I'm thinking, man, my mom used to make full-blown meals for us. And she's sitting there fasting and thinking, man. Luckily for me, I live by myself. So it's if I'm not eating, nobody is. Yeah. So,
that's right.
But.
That's funny. Yeah, and then which hey, it's kind of Stan and I were talking about at lunch today. We had our conference recently, and James Elijah made the point about prayer, and he was be thankful if you're a busy person. Be thankful God's entrusted you with that.
Yes. And
when you take time to pray and fast, in a way, the reward's even greater because it's a bigger sacrifice. And he made the point, hey, if you're a millionaire and you give $10,000. Cool. If you have $2,000 to your name and you give $2,000, in God's eyes, what's the greater sacrifice?
Sure.
And so being willing to sacrifice. So I say all that to say, for your mom's case, the sacrifice is even greater.
Oh, 100%.
I'm sitting here frying chicken, and choosing not to eat. Yeah, because the kids have to eat.
Yeah.
From a medical perspective.
Absolutely.
Kids need to eat.
Yeah. No, and some will know Heidi Baker. I remember hearing her say years ago about fasting. her perspective greatly changed because she has a ministry and she's lived over there in Mozambique for years, but she makes the comment of, when I come back to the U.S. and I fast, I'm not fasting for the same reason. I'm fasting because I need to be reminded of the experience those kids are having because they're not eating.
Sure.
And so it's almost like, in a lot of ways, you think about it, here in the U.S. we're so blessed, and it's almost like there are countries in the world where like they have to fast.
Yeah.
They wouldn't call it fasting, they'd call it starving, right? And so it's almost like, I think there's so many pieces where it's like, one, the spiritual element of it that's like so important. And then two, a lot of the practical benefits. But then three, it's almost like I don't even know the correct terminology, but like humanistic piece to it, where it's almost like,
like it softens your heart.
100%.
To less fortunate people.
Yeah. Because it does, and it's like no different than any type of suffering. It's like, it does make you appreciate things that much more.
100%. Yeah, like I saw a video and it was like, 50 years ago or whatever it is when hot showers became a thing. I mean, think about it. Like, we live like kings.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Relative to most of the time. Our quality of life's infinitely better than anybody's ever had.
Yes.
And I forget exactly how he phrased it, but it was like quality of life minus envy equals something, but it was basically like, we don't perceive to be any better because of envy, or whatever it is, just perspective of like, you have a hot shower, what does that matter? So-and-so's got a beach house. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, if you really contextualize it, we live like kings.
Oh, yeah.
Hot showers, hot meals, so there is an element of that where it's like, hey, just be reminded that not everybody's as fortunate. So when you fast, it's making you tender to that. And, again, so I've not been perfect with this practice in my life, but I've recently begun doing more of it. And the more you talk about it, the more it's like, it sucks. I mean, there's no way around it.
Oh, sure.
But it does make more and more sense why it's like when you fast, not if, because it's like, it's an ingredient to this walk of life where there's, again, health benefits. Like, I mean, you do research and there's tons of things around, like it gets rid of, your body eats cancer cells when it's fasting. I mean, so there's like this, like, biological, not even spiritual at all, aspect of it, of why it's so important to do. And then you get into the spiritual, like, it's not, and another thing too, I think it's like you said, it's not about earning. I'm not doing it to earn God's approval.
Yes.
I'm just emptying myself out so he can fill me up. And I can really devote specific time to him. And then, like you said, the third thing is, just reminding ourselves of just how fortunate we are and being tender and compassionate to those that aren't as much.
Yeah, no, and it's like, you even saying all that, it's like, okay, if God is the creator of all things, and we believe him to be, right? And he tells us or asks us to do certain things, there's probably a reason why. You know what I mean? It's like going in left field, but it's like the Hebraic diet. Like, there's things that he told them to eat, to not eat. Yeah. Well, in 2025, right, you go back through the list of what most like people would say to abstain from. It's going to be that list. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, stay away from pork.
Practical things that are
it's like, hey, God's not just a taskmaster just making us jump through hoops. It's like, there's probably a reason why, whether we realize it or not. And to your point, fasting, where it's just like, there's things that it does for your mind, your body, and most importantly, from our perspective, spiritually, that it does for you. And so, and again, it's not necessarily what you can gain. But there are aspects that certainly benefit you when you do it.
100%. 100%. What else is on your mind on this topic? Anything?
Trying to think.
And I love how spontaneous this was too. Like, it's like, it's got to be in you, because they don't know this, but I asked like 6 hours ago if you wanted to do this. There's not a lot of prep time.
It's definitely impacted me for sure. Anything else? No. I mean, I would say, like, it's hard. Yeah. And I think it intimidates most people. You know what I mean? It's hard for everybody. Like, again, I don't know if there's a person that's not hard for. But no, I mean, I think, like, if you sand it down, like, there's tons of benefits. And it's like, in my mind, I just go through the different people that could be listening, whether it's like a person who considers himself a believer. It's like, hey, this is a way to give yourself to God in another way. To the person that's not a believer, right? One, like, in a lot of ways, if you're searching for God, hey, all right, I've heard about this man Jesus. I want to kind of see where he goes. This is another mechanism. And then 3, for health benefits. It's like person we know that works with us. I mean, he did intermittent fasting for a year or 2 years or something to that effect every single day. And like the amount of weight or the amount of transformation we saw in his life was crazy.
Sure.
And so it's like there's a ton of reasons to do it. And it's just like it is hard, but it's worth it.
100%. Do hard things.
Yes.
To do life well.
1,000.
Do hard things.
1,000%.
It's not about comfort.
1,000%. And it goes back to where we started. If you don't, your body will lead you astray and tell you all the things, and in the long run, you'll suffer.
Yeah.
But if you suffer now,
that's right.
You can enjoy it.
Choose your suffering.
Yeah, now or later.
That's right.
All right, let's choose now.
You're going to suffer in some way, so choose the way you want to do it.
No, that's it.
So.
That's it.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely.
It's been a ton of fun.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me on.
For sure. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Until next month, keep doing life well.
Thank you for joining us on the Do Life Well podcast, where we explore topics like fatherhood, business, health, wellness, and so much more. With each episode, we aim to inspire and guide you in embracing the art of doing life well. If you found value in today's conversation, please leave us a review, subscribe, and share with your friends. Until next time, continue the journey of doing life well.